In our first YouTube message about energy-saving technologies, the link to the message is indicated in the description of this video. We informed you about wind installation we developed for supplying water to the required height, with the possibility of filling the water tower and the subsequent use of water to irrigate their plantations. At the same time, special attention was paid in our report to Stepanov theory, which was used by us in the manufacture of the wind installation. By conducted research, we showed the advantages of Stepanov theory, which makes it possible to increase the efficiency of the use of wind energy. Now, our creative group KOLVI from Zaporizhzhia, Ukraine offers you the results of almost 30 years activity of effective using of drinking water by our family. We live on the 5th floor of a 9-story building. Near the house we broke our research site. It is small, its area does not exceed a quarter of a football field. It grows poplar, linden, apricots, grapes, currant bushes and viburnum, as well as several trees unknown to us that have taken root by themselves. What for us is our site? At first, it is our contribution, albeit very modest, to the existence of our green planet. At the same time, there are another motivations which have a considerable influence on our daily life. This is our poplar, figure 1, which almost 30 years ago was a small, painful seedling, and today, thanks to our diligence, he reached the 6th floor, and every morning he looks out our window, and the rustle of his leaves reminds us that a new day has begun. And in this photo, figure 2, our grapes. Is it not pleasure that I feel a coolness of opening the loggia window thanks to the grape leaves that protect you from the scorching sun on a sultry day? And is it possible to convey the feeling that you, at the same time, have the opportunity to quench your thirst with fresh grape juice? And for this, it is enough to stretch a hand from the window and cut off a wonderful brush of grapes. All this would not deserve your attention if not for one problem that we had to solve in order to achieve such results. The problem arose with the appearance of the first seedlings on the site, since even then it became clear that without irrigation the seedlings could not survive. Especially if we take into account that the basis of the soil is clay and sand. It was necessary to investigate the existing methods of irrigation of plantations. Of course, the most common is the periodic abundant watering by cutting the holes both around the trees, filling them with water, and then filling the wells with the soil to preserve moisture. More details in 1 and 2 of Annex. This method is laborious, requires a lot of water, it is economically expensive and not always effective, as evidenced by the trees that have dried up already without leaves, as shown in figure 3. In addition, and this is the main thing, this method of irrigation was and remains unacceptable for our family budget. Unfortunately, such a method is considered acceptable for the state budget of Ukraine, believing that taxpayers have nothing to do with the formation of the state budget. Therefore, today extremely expensive and no less efficient irrigation of the nearby areas continues, as is confirmed by figure 3. Taking into account the above, we have made efforts to find a more rational way of irrigation of plantations. After many years of research, we have improved the well-known method of sewage of domestic water for the purpose of using part of domestic water for irrigation of our house area. In addition, we have also improved the well-known subgrade method for planting of plantations, detailed in the work 5 of Annex. The peculiarity of the method of irrigation at the adjacent sites developed by us is that the method does not require the cost of drinking water. Another feature of this method is that the method makes it possible to substantially reduce the load on the treatment plants, which are extremely overloaded in all the cities of the world. And their overload is 2 or more times, which requires a radical reconstruction of treatment facilities. In addition, their proposed method makes it possible to reduce drinking water consumption, since despite measures taken by the authorities to reduce their consumption of drinking water, a significant part of it is also spent on irrigation. This is especially important taking into account the shortage of fresh water caused by an increase in the number of inhabitants of the planet and the volume of human economic activity. More details in 14-15 of Annex. It should also be remembered that an increase in the number of inhabitants of the planet will require an increase in food production, and the latter must be implemented without increasing the consumption of fresh water, since our planet already suffers from a deficit of fresh water. From our point of view, the way developed by our creative group KOLVI is the way of irrigation of adjacent areas by using domestic water as described above. What is the essence of this method? The water used in everyday life, domestic water, can be divided into 2 categories. To the first category, which is inadmissible to use for irrigation of plantations, it is necessary to include water from the toilet, as well as water used in detergents, for example, in the process of washing dishes as well as washing clothes. The second category should include household water, which can be used to irrigate their plantations. This category should include used water after rinsing dishes and laundry, as well as water used for washing vegetables and fruits. In simple terms, household water that does not contain detergents. After that, it is necessary to divide the specified waters and to direct water to the first category in the sewage system for processing and cleaning, and the second for irrigation of plantations. The process of separation of domestic waters can be carried out as follows. To do this, the appliances, sink in a kitchen and a bathroom can be equipped with an additional drainage channel, which will allow the water from these appliances to be sent, if necessary, either for irrigation or for sewerage. Of course, you can use the existing devices made with a single drain channel. In this case, at the outlet from such devices, a valve can be installed with the possibility of directing the domestic water for the respective purpose. In our case, we did even easier. The upper end of the irrigation water supply line 1, figure 4, was fixed from the outside of the window on the 5th floor and equipped with a capacity 2 with a coarse filter. At the same time, we transferred the water for irrigation to the supply pipeline with the available capacities of 2 and 5 liters. Not very convenient, but very simple and not costly for the family budget. In addition, it is also useful because a small physical load of health does not hurt. It should also be noted that for individual irrigation of each plantation, we developed and manufactured a switch gear for Figure 5, fixed to the tree trunk at a height of about 1 meter from the ground and connected to the water supply pipe 1. The device automatically sends water through 6 channels, of which 4 channels direct water to the devices developed by us for individual irrigation of trees and shrubs. From the remaining 2 channels at the switch gear, water is sent to 2 10-liter containers, 5 for monitoring the amount of water supplied for irrigation and watering of plantings located at a distance. Figure 5. Moreover, all irrigated trees and shrubs are equipped with individual irrigation devices manufactured by us. It should also be noted that the entire irrigation system is made from used plastic bottles and containers. The only exception is the 12-meter plastic pipeline, which is quite acceptable for our budget. What are the results of many years of operation of our irrigation system? At first, we not only saved the trees on our site, but significantly increased their number. Secondly, and most importantly, irrigating the trees of our site and thereby creating conditions there for their existence, we did not use a single liter of drinking water for irrigation. A lot of water is needed to maintain the plantings of our site. So in summer we collect daily for irrigation from 70 to 100 liters of water, which is 60–70% of the total amount of water consumed by our family of 3 people. It should be noted and the effectiveness of the developed method of irrigation. Comparing this method with the drip irrigation, it is necessary to note the advantage of the proposed method. Since the latter does not require special water supply pumps, fine filters requiring special attention, which is necessary for drip irrigation. More details in 8 and 9 of Annex. Concerning the prospects of the proposed method of irrigation. At first glance, despite the obvious benefits of the proposed irrigation method, the prospects for its widespread use are disappointing. All our attempts to get support from local authorities and state services of Ukraine were left without attention. On the other hand, interplanetary projects for tracing water on other planets, as well as special programs for processing human life from staying in space, give hope that the time will come when humanity will take concrete steps to make more efficient use of fresh water of the planet Earth. On our part, we are ready to cooperate with all those who wish to improve the ecology of the Earth. Recently, a company from the EU countries presented on TV the supply of fresh vegetables, dill, parsley, onions, etc. to the capital of Russia, Moscow. To do this, vegetables grown in a greenhouse are cut in the evening, packaged, driven to the airport by vans, then delivered to Moscow by plane, and by the morning the products are on supermarket shelves. In terms of logistics, technology is irreproachable. Everything is thought out to the smallest detail and is calculated by the hour and minute. But the question arises, why such complexity and huge costs? At the same time, a thought arises involuntarily. Why would urban planners not use the method of irrigation developed by us? and do not provide guidance directly by in front of housing units in which the citizens could choose and cut vegetables and fruits. Everything is fresh, everything is close, and no transportation costs, not to mention the environment. Is it not a tempting project? Perhaps such projects will be able to solve the problem of fresh water, ecology, and food for all the inhabitants of the earth. In conclusion, we express our gratitude to all who responded to our first YouTube message and inform about the preparation of the next one, in which we will talk about the design and the technology of the wind installation in accordance with the Stepanov's wind theory. Sincerely, Creative Group KOLVI, Zaporozhye, Ukraine, August 2017.